What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Berserk manga chapters 181, 182, possibly more. A lot of emotions triggered with the last chapters. A lot of questions, um, and a lot of the questions it's hard to like answer or get answers to because you don't know what's fate driven or not. Is everything fate driven? Does it not matter what we do, the choices we make, or what happens? Are even the God Hand like destined by fate? Like, are their decisions even their own? A lot of moving parts. Another question that I had is people were saying Zod lost his horn because him and Griffith fought. Like, are they really like going at it? Like, did Zod know what he was? Because he's very like servant. Anytime he's like kind of been around that. Um, was it more like a test my powers thing, or was it more like a Zod didn't know what he was doing? Who knows if we'll ever get clarification on that. Jumping into this with Griffith now in human form, because I was curious because we know that the Behelit kind of gave himself for that of like a new world, or whatever. But it's hard to ask questions like, was this always going to be the outcome of what his sacrifice was going to be? Or did destiny, or did it just happen to allow itself that Casca happened to be in the area, which spawned her. We're just going to label it as her little protector child. Which that's it's a lot of it's a lot of questions because let's remove, but then you can't remove it because like, is that how it was always meant? Like, I don't know if anything happens by chance in this story. I don't know because even Skull Knight's like, oh, maybe you reside in both planes. Maybe you're like the remainder of the equation that can't be calculated. That Matrix type conversation. Um, so with the walking Behelit, essentially, was his end goal or his end fate always going to be him birthing a walking God Hand that would then be able to like change the world? Was that always what he was striving to give or striving to be? Or is it just because Casca happened to be in the area that happened to have her demonic child there that he happened to take in, and then in that moment was he like, wait, maybe I can birth something that will be different? Like, did he know that he was just going to sprout a God Hand? I don't know like what the technicality on all that is. Um, like, would he have spit out any God Hand? Did it just happen to be that happened to happen that had Griffith's DNA on it is why he was birthed? Like, it's a lot of like what came first type of thing, or like destiny meant to be. Like, how did this happen? I mean, of course, from a logical standpoint, if you peel yourself out of it and look at it as like just a logical, like nothing to do with the story, of course you're going to have it be Griffith just for story purposes because you want to write a good story. If you make that any other God Hand that we don't have a connection to, it's like, okay, it's like, okay, that's different, but it's still like, what's the point? So I get it from that kind of aspect, but like, is that always what it was going to be and Griffith just happened to be the lucky one chosen? Um, and then I'm also curious, like, do any of the God Hands kind of like resent or regret their decisions to come? Because he's so fixated on this human goal, his human dreams, that like, did he not comprehend that like he's become something bigger? But then the question is like, what does it mean to be like, what have you really become when you become a God Hand? What does that grant you besides immortality and some abilities? You don't rule anything. You don't even make destiny, I don't think. So what is it that you really give up? Because you have to have those strong desires to be willing to sacrifice. But then it's almost like, yes, I have these desires, but then I don't even get to go follow through my desires because I'm not even in that plane anymore. If his dream is to, have his own kingdom, like he says right here, I will get my own kingdom. What's a kingdom to somebody that can't even access Earth or the human world? So does that like piss him off? Like when he was in his demonic form, that like, dang, I gave all this up and I was a believer and now I can't even access it. I, I don't know. It's a lot of like those bigger questions on like, does he regret becoming that? Not regret to like go back because you can't go back, but like, dang, I wish I could have like stayed. I don't know. It's a lot of floating, moving pieces, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and press play on this. Get this going here. Make sure everything's on. Mic is good to go. Recording. All right. Chapter 181. But then I'm also curious of like, does that now make him killable? Who knows? And then Berserk is in a current Hunter x Hunter situation, right? Like the story isn't finished, correct? But wasn't there announcements in the last like couple years or so that they're gonna like be continuing the story? But the story hasn't finished, correct? So we don't even know how this shit ends. Like you guys don't even know how this shit ends. Can he be killed? Does having the child or being the reincarnation of the child, does that make him weak, hesitant? If it becomes a point in time where like Guts does end up pushing his ass to the edge? I don't know. We'll see. I will get my own kingdom. Nothing has changed. Because if I'm the other God Hand, I'm kind of pissed. Like, hey, whoa. He just gets to go back with all this knowledge now? Because now he's a human that knows all these things. It's kind of like, well, damn. I want that. Do they, like, is it spite? Like, who knows? I feel really bad for, Charlotte. Because you know where he's going. I mean, why would he go anywhere? That's where I think. And because then it's also like you're going to introduce a whole nother kingdom, a whole nother people that he's going to manipulate and everything. It's just easy to just go have him. Charlotte. Charlotte already is going to be in love with him forever, so. Rickert, nothing has ended. You learn the truth and come hate me, so be it. It's interesting that he speaks to him directly there. But if even then you can say you can still chase the dream, I'll have no cause to. Wait, I don't understand. What's the truth? That's no. Oh God, Rickert is already pissing me off. That's no. Move it, Rickert. Say nothing's changed after everything you did. Say nothing's changed. You should have known. This is the man I am. You of all people. Guts, tell it to me. Truth. What happened to Griffith and everyone else that day? And how dare you speak to him? Like, like, what? Because, like, what is the purpose of him speak? I feel like there's regret within him. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it's also like a. Speaking of this, spoilers. If you've never seen Attack on Titan and don't want me to talk about it, I'm gonna give you about 3, 2, 1. It's very Aaron-like of like, I've already done this, and I've seen. I'm not saying Griffith has the ability to see in the future and send himself memories X, Y, Z, but it's almost like you've committed and done so much. To stop now would just be something you probably couldn't live with, type thing. Like if you have a goal and you've stepped over so many people, you've killed people, backstabbed, lied, cheated, and one day you wake up like, God, I can't believe the things I've done. You know, I can't do this anymore. I'm just gonna do it. It's like, well, you piece of shit, you've already killed hundreds. You've lied, backstabbed, cheated, stole. You might as well make it worth it. That's kind of the vibe I get from him. Like, he knows that was fucked, and it shouldn't have been done. But it's like, I'm full committed now, because then it doesn't even make any of then people could just say I just killed just to killed. I didn't just to kill. I didn't even achieve a goal. I did all these shitty things and I just did nothing with it, you know? What who are you over here to say if you learned the truth so be it, but still chase the who knows? Who really knows? But I've that's the last time I'm giving Rickert to get in my way again. By the way, I'll have to take his ass out. I just would. That's the last chance he gets. God, I wish Casca could talk right now too. However painful it is, don't I have a right to know too? Don't I have a right to know it too? No, I have to know. I agree. He should. Because I ain't dealing with this bullshit again. Because, well, just because it's a story and we know it's going to happen again. Griffith is going to come in front of us again. And I'm not dealing with the, like, well, Guts, what does it mean? And him stopping me and him trying to get in the way. So, I'll just tell him to it straight. Also, it lets Casca hear it, whether she needs to or not. It gives Puck a rundown. And then 3, it'll be the first time Guts has ever spoken about it since that day. We've seen him replay the images within his head, but he's never got, like, just to talk about something, like it's a stress reliever, just to like get it up out of your system. So I think it'll be good on multiple. Look how bad the mark is bleeding on his neck. But you notice he never felt it. Well, he's physically stronger than Casca for sure. You see how badly it hurt her? Damn near was giving her a stroke. Interesting. But I think he should tell him. I think it'll help him in multiple ways, and it'll let Rickert make this whatever decision he wants. And then it's so interesting because, like, again, we see that Zod's missing a horn and shit. I don't know what he now is. Does he have every benefit of being a god hand just in a human body? Or is he just straight up Griffith now? There's nothing extraordinary about him. Like, if Zod ever felt like it, now Destiny might prevent Zod from killing him. But could anybody take his ass out now? Like, he's just a regular, just flesh, blood beating human, or what? I don't know. He's feeling the heartbeat. And then what is it that's making him feel this way? Is it because he technically is their child, so seeing his father and his mother as a child makes him feel something? Is it because these are two people that he cared or loved about at one point, so him as Griffith is feeling something? Is it a combination of both? I don't know what it is. Oh, damn it! We get all that off screen? I hate that, really. I really hate that a lot. I hate that a ton, that all that was off screen. I wanted to see him talk about that. Maybe we'll get some more of it. I won't judge yet. But if they really don't give any of Guts, like, actually getting that out and seeing the reactions and the flashbacks, that's a miss. That's bad. That's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. That's the truth. And then Puck, we don't get Puck's reaction or any. I wanted to see the reactions to the details and Guts' reaction, getting that out, and how could that somehow or the other I'd figured it out. That image was from then. Oh, it's no use. It's all buried. What now? This means Guts and Casca's home is, and right when we were all together. Dang. But now we can't even. So what the hell do we do at night now? Now someone's got to stand night watch and shit because we can't go in the, like, elvish protected. going to. Carried that heavy burden all alone, while I remained ignorant, comfortable by myself in a place like this. Well, now his ass wants to run out here for 2 years and exact some rage. Who's watching the little girl? Oh, God. Take me with you? I'm a hawk too. No, why not? Because you could never really... agreed. Agreed. I think that's not anymore, because I don't know what Casca is or what's going to be the point of her character if she's not able to... I mean, is it just a... I don't know. That's a whole different story of, like, what is Casca at this point in the story? Is it just something to keep Guts grounded and something that keeps him from mentally going insane, something to protect? But that's her being something for him. But what is Casca for her in the rest of this story? I have absolutely no idea what's going to be the point of her for herself. We'll see. But I agree with that statement. And I say that as well as I would put Casca in the same boat. I would put any of them, if they were still alive, in the same boat. You could never really hate Griffith, and that is 100% true. None of them could. Whether Corcus or Judo or any of them were still alive. Replace, like, take Rickert, say he was the one that died, and keep Judo alive, vice versa, I would have the same statement. You're leaving? Is everyone leaving? Erica's her name. I don't know why I couldn't remember her name. What are you doing? Hurry and catch her. Why, so we'll be gone by the time he gets back? So, what are we gonna do now? Keep on the trail of vengeance? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Because had we rescued her, I think we could have came back here and tried to live out our days. But now that we know this piece of shit is physically on Earth at all times, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. The man can barely sleep at night as it is. I won't leave her again. Because don't say the trail of vengeance with Casca. No, that's impossible. I know that. The fact that two branded people can't stay in one place for long is proven at the Tower of Conviction. The elf caves have been demolished. Staying here's a bit out of the question. Ain't there any other elf dwellings around here? Damn, Puck, you're useless. Can you just lock Casca up again? That's sad. Didn't she run off in the first place because she hated that? We don't know. Since I'm the only elf expert here. Yeah, there's a place. It's a little far, but it's a beautiful paradise. Probably safer in anywhere in this world. Is it though? Or is this another Rosine elvish fantasy? I mean, how bad is this thing collapsed over here? Could we not... Guts is extraordinary. We can't clear that a little bit? Might take some time, but I mean... Old man doesn't have any weapons. I mean, we're not going to use our sword. Shit, maybe you should. Got any weapons we can break up some of this rubble and try to clear it out? Ah, probably not. Did you take Rickert and Erica with you? Probably. I would think. Just because it depends if is there any care for Rickert and Erica within him? Because now that Guts is on the field, now that Griffith is on the field, he could show up at any time and mold Rickert's mind into whatever he would. Now what he would actually get beneficial out of Rickert, who knows? Maybe a bargaining chip, you know. Like, Griffith, I summon you. Or Griffith summons Guts, or he's like, I want to have a conversation with you. Or Casca. The instant response is going to be, hell no. Like, oh, but I have Rickert here, I could kill him if you... So I say that to say that Rickert probably needs to come too. Are you going to leave this? All the graves you set up, the old man lives here, you're going to take Erica with you too, or... Not bad. I do think that's maybe we'll get it. Who knows? But at least for me, maybe everybody doesn't feel this way. I would have loved to see Guts talk about that. And you see how we get this image here of this flashback image here. I think it could have hit really hard from a reader's point of view. Rickert can't comprehend the images, but imagine like an image of like Corcus as he's talking about it, Judo as he's talking about it. I think that would have hit really hard from a reader standpoint. And you know they don't mind being graphic as shit, so it's nothing to the author to redo those panels and put them back up there, or maybe see them from a different point of view. That's just my wants as a reader. I think it would have hit harder. I hate that we just like, it kind of like ruins the chapter for me that we just skipped that, and he's like, oh, that's the truth, and then he's just dealing with it. Kind of is what it is. Alright. 182. Talk of the Millennium Empire arc. You can't even stay just one night. Dang, and Erica's got to feel like shit. She's like, oh, everyone's here, we'll have a family, we can do this and that and that and this. Like I said, as long as we have these brands, we'll just track the dead and demon spirits, and you'll be in danger too. And Erica. But still, I too don't abandon, can't replace. Weren't those Godo's parting words? I just don't think Rickert's safe. I think this the best thing for everybody here involved, because this is really all we have connection to. Like, this group right here is it. Guts, Casca, Rickert, Erica, and Puck. Now, how important is Erica to the overall story, or Rickert from this point forward? Who knows? But if you don't want to abandon it, like, there's a good chance you might never see Rickert again, or Rickert's going to be taken into his possession, or manipulated, or whatever. It'd be the same way as like if he ran off and Casca got scooped up. Maybe it wouldn't hit him as hard, but like, you're going to take that chance? It'll be a rough couple nights and weeks out there on the road to get to wherever Puck's talking about, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it would be in everybody's best interest to get there. That's just me, though. And we're just out like that? Damn. Don't think I like that either. Two back-to-back chapters. I don't agree with the decisions that have been made from an author's point of view, but what do I know? Alright then, well, guess we're out. Take care, Casca. You better be sure to look after her, Guts. That's sad. No, that's right. The time I left the Band of the Hawk, it was just like this. The day I quarreled with him was on a snowy hill like this. This time I'm the one. I'm the one who was deserted. I told you once, I will get my own kingdom. Should have known. Man I am. What the hell are these two gonna do? Yeah, they were living fine now. I just, man. If we see Rickert again alive and untainted by Griffith, if he ever has a point to play in this story again, I'll be shocked. Absolutely shocked. Of all people. I won't leave you behind. I won't desert you anymore. Time I won't lose you. What? I forget what I said. I gave a chapter number for when I think Casca would speak again. I can't remember what I said. I think I said I started at 215, then I was like, hell no. I think I said 250. I'm just really very curious what they plan to do with her character, just from her standpoint. We know what she is to Guts at this point. He won't lose her, he won't leave her, he will protect her, he will do whatever. Like, what's gonna be her character's future? Does she just moan and get emotional every time she sees Griffith? Like, is that what's left for her life? Does she ever start speaking again? Are we ever going to see her? I'm not saying she's got to be a world-class fighter like she was last time, but is there a future for her as a person? Or is she just going to be this kind of like deaf, dumb, mute thing that he looks after, which is a burden at the same time? Huh. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Oh, is this the, Kashan trying to take over Midland right now after the whole entire country just went through a damn plague, famine-ish, etc.? I'm assuming this is what this is. I think I know how this is about to go. How he gets his kingdom right here. This goes to shit. Charlotte's in command, in control. Kingdom's getting run over. They probably can't hold out for much longer. And look who it is. The White Hawk himself flies in, commands the troops, pushes back the enemy forces, marries her, gets his king. We'll see. It's a straight up war going on. Stop this. Just burning people in the streets, raping, murdering, pillaging women and kids. What will happen to us? Who knows? I'm sure we'll be taken to their land as slaves, or else be made to have Kashan children. It's the quickest way to take over another race. Heard a rumor that they sacrifice women to their god. Either way, we're done for. This town, this kingdom. Band of the Hawk, if only he were here. People are still whispering this man's name. Oh yeah, I think it's going to go exactly how I said. Country's in just shambles. Women and children are being taken for sex slaves or worse. Men are being murdered in the streets. People are being set on fire. Here comes the White Hawk. Just... My thing is, though, I'm still curious because he's still going to need actual ground forces. But does he just kind of wipe it? Like, does he have mutant powers where he can like handle a whole army, or is he still going to need actual men? There's no use saying that now. It's coming soon now. Our helping hand. What's wrong with this girl? Saw her parents burned to death. She must have lost her mind. Coming. The Hawk of Light is coming. I can hear it. Oh, and isn't speaking of girls that have things burning, Farnese is looking for us too. That wouldn't be bad. That could be a little squad. Farnese, Serpico, Rickert, Erica, Guts, Casca, Buck. I mean, two of them literally serve no purpose if we ever have to throw hands, but if only it did not take so long for a city to fall. But General, they show no sign of accepting our repeated counsel to surrender. It seems the fear of our army is a bit too strong a medicine. Fools call extermination down on themselves when they could go on living as war slaves if they'd only submit. Our forces have already managed to bring down 6. Yet here you are. An entire clan has failed to capture just one man. I'm flabbergasted. What makes you a warrior clan? How absurd. And now you say the hawk flew off on an evil beast? Oh, they're still under the impression that, like, the band of the hawk is still a thing, yada yada blah blah blah. And I think the general public still knows that. So for 2 to 3 years, it wasn't put out there that, like, this is what he's done, the hawk. But none of that got out there. They damn rode them down on horseback and shit. Not one single soldier was out there mentioning like what they're doing and what. And maybe it just didn't spread to foreign. Who knows? Who believes that's nonsense? Nonsense. Begging your pardon, but this invasion, I hear tell that it all started based on an oracle received by the high priest. In that case, any of abnormal phenomenon should be possible. One who is a slave ought not speak as if informed. What do priests know of war? Military standpoint, claiming an oracle as the start of a war is no more than a pretext. Even if our great emperor recognizes people like you as soldiers for a sake, entrusting you with a mission is an act of raving drunkenness. You who rely on such muttered tripe are pathetic. You all were driven from the empire for siding with the defeated royal family in the struggle for imperial succession. But your original social standing was at that level of slaves. What goodwill reparations do you? Oh. Would pardon the urgency. Oh, they tried to go for the head. That's not bad. Not bad strat. Kinda down with it. It didn't work. Run. Yeah, run. Well, that'll do it. We make contact there? No. Didn't. What are these like scar tissue built up things? Hell's going on here? Well, beg your pardon. So swift, what skills, and they crushed iron armor with their bare hands. Are they monsters? We now return to our mission of searching for the hawk. Well, the hawk's gonna come right up to you, man. No need to even search. There he is. Interesting headpiece for the horse. Interesting, interesting. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if the prediction is correct, but pretty sure that's going to go down how it is. Midland forces in the Midland Kingdom is just getting ravaged and taken over. Charlotte's in control, essentially. She's not able to do it. Griffith shows up. People are already talking about the White Hawk. They're trying to capture the White Hawk. People are looking for the White Hawk. They're hoping he'll come and save them. He's going to come save them. He's going to be lauded. And he's going to get his kingdom. And I guess the question is, then what? We never really got the answer of like, okay, you get your kingdom, then what happens? You just rule? Like, what kind of ruler? Like, do you want to rule? You just want to say you have a kingdom to say you have a kingdom? Are you going to be a good ruler or a bad ruler? Like, what does that really mean? Maybe we'll see that. Like, does it start to hunger for, like, more than just the one kingdom? Does he start to, like, conquer in general? I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Now, where is it that Puck is taking us? Is it within Midland? Is it even close? Do we start getting elvish answers on things? Because I've been asking, like, what are the elves? Is there any positive counter influence in this story to the demonic one? Usually, there's always, like, good and bad, light and dark, something. Or is it just all bad? I don't know. Is that where Skull Knight goes? Like, where does he go? When there's not a once-in-a-lifetime event happening. I don't know. And I would be curious if he had any insight onto, like, what he now is. Like, what does this mean? I don't know. Just a lot of floating questions out there. Is he just now just a regular old breathing human that, like, if he gets, like, sliced or infection, like, he's just dead? Or is he something more? I don't know. Do not know. I do not know, but we'll see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, subscribe as always.